So welcome back to my channel. This is Dom. Another one of our updates on what I've been up to in our wonderful hobby of wargaming. So yeah, another week's gone by. Been a busy couple of weeks, I think. Week, 2 weeks, whatever it is since I did the last update. I think probably the last update was Warfare. And the game that Martin and I played. That was great fun. Really good fun indeed. So back to a bit more normality, or as normal as it gets around here. It's been pretty good actually. Done quite a bit of painting. So let's check that out. So first up, this is the remainder of the box of Welsh/Irish Gripping Beast plastic Dark Age figures that I had been working on previously. I am going to put them into my Dark Age collection for playing Hail Caesar or possibly Midgard. These have got the material cloaks that you get with, or you can buy from Weaves of War. I did a short video on them. Found them fiddly as hell to put on, but they're okay. They're reasonably effective. And I put them on these figures just to make sure they fit in with the other figures I've previously done. So yeah, not much to say. These Gripping Beast plastics are relatively cheap and but very good sculpts for very simplistic sculpts. And I think they look quite effective as a unit. So there you go. And then next up, a couple of camels, because why not? I'm not entirely sure where I got these from, but I think I had them in mind for my Ottoman Napoleonic forces, just to sort of have as a bit of scenery in the back. They're metal figures, not entirely sure where they came from, but they weigh a flipping ton. And I've just painted them up really simply to, as I say, they're going to be almost terrain fluff pieces to go on the back of the table in those sort of desert settings. I'm quite pleased how they came out. So a couple of camels resting in the desert, ready for another haul of goods across to the oasis. And then next up, some serious hombres. These are metal Baron War period figures. These are Templar Knights from Footsore Miniatures. I bought them ages ago as part of one of their many Kickstarters they had for the launch of Baron War, and I think it was the Outremer supplement. And I had the plan to do it. As I mentioned before on the channel, I bought into all the Kickstarters, and then nobody at the club was particularly interested in playing it, so I sold off all my version 1. Then version 2 came out, and Jono down the club decided he fancied having a go at it, so I bought them all back again. So a lot of my metal figures I used in, some I'd painted up already for Baron Wars, but some I'd painted up and put into my Bruces in Ireland project, so then none of them gone to waste. But these remaining very definitely Outremer type figures were sitting in a box waiting to be painted, and given the fact we've been having a few games of Baron Wars down the club, I thought I'd give them a go. So the backstory: Templars didn't really play much part in the Baron Wars. They kept themselves aloof. However, one of their English lords, sort of head of the chapter, I guess, in England, was a very good personal friend of King John, and he actually was there and helped draw up the Magna Carta. So there's kind of an interesting backstory there you could factor in, and they're such nice figures. I decided I wanted to paint them up. I suppose technically they should be part of the Royalist faction. If I'm allowed to say faction in this context, but I guess also they could be just coming around to make sure the Lord's peace is kept in England, which is a very unlikely thing to happen. Anyway, nice figures. The standard, I don't know where I got that from. I think I picked it up at Salute some years ago, or I may even have got, I can't remember the chap, but it was a guy who was selling them for a while, and I picked it up with a plan to use it, and promptly forgot all about it. So when I was looking for the figures, rather sensibly, I'd put it in with the figures, so able to use it as the standard bearer. So there you go, some Templar Knights. And then along with the Templar Knights, you've got to have some of their sergeants or late brother knights to go along with them. So again, these are more footsore metals from the Outremer Kickstarter. I just decided I'd have some knights and some sergeants, as I say, just to sort of mix and match within the forces. So difference between the sergeants and the actual full knights was the knights wore white and the sergeants wear black or brown. Brown's a bit boring, so I went black, obviously. Quite pleased with how these came out in the end. Started with a black undercoat, or no, a white undercoat, then blacked over the top, contrast paint of some sort, and then sort of a dry brush with a dark grey, and then a lighter grey, and then I washed it back with a black ink again, and yeah, I think it works out quite well. So yeah, black and white with red crosses is their way. The guy on the side here is actually, I think he was a Turcopole, which is one of the light cavalry from the Middle East, from the Crusader period, and I'm not quite sure what his role was within the Baron War pack that they gave you, but it may have been an extra figure in the Kickstarter. I can't remember, it's so long ago, but I thought I'd paint him up as well, and he can be a master archer for the Templars, controlling some of the local archers that are representing or helping the guys to do God's righteous work in England. So yeah, very happy with how they've come out, and hopefully they'll see the table sometime very soon. So next up, a few more Confederates for my ACW forces. So I haven't done any for a while because I've got so many done, but I've got a number of figures sort of primed and ready to go, and I took these out the box and I thought might as well get them done. You can notice obviously they're all singly based because from time to time I thought I might want to play shot practice or a sort of more skirmish based game, and this was an ideal way to just use some of the extra figures I've got and make them usable for a sort of single base skirmish game like this. So deliberately ragtag formation, just because I wanted to have them as sort of a late war Confederate force, just whatever they can get their hands on in the field. They're all periplastics, yeah, all done. So as well as the Templar Knights and Sergeants I've already shown off, I had some metal cavalry, which I thought I might as well paint as well. So I've likewise turned these into Templar Sergeants in the black and Templar Knights in the white, to join the Baron Wars forces. So I haven't used cavalry myself yet in Baron Wars, but I fought against them, and I think I'm going to have to get to use cavalry fairly soon because they're quite effective if you use them in the right way. Lovely figures from Footsore. Really pleased with the way they came out in the end, and yeah, not much more to say other than I need to get a Crusader flag for the at least one of these guys, so he can be the bannerman for my lord. Thought I had one somewhere, but blowed if I can find it, but that's fine, I'll find it soon. Nice figures, really pleased with how they've come out. More for Baron Wars, which seems to be very much my thing at the moment. Now, I don't normally do Romans, but if you watched the video I did a while ago about unboxing one of the mystery boxes from Warlords, I picked up a whole load of Romans. And I thought it's probably long overdue for me to put together a Roman force to fight against all the various barbaric forces I've got. Don't know what it is about the Romans. I'm fascinated by the history. I love going around their ruins, all the sort of sites and everything. The battle reports, the battle histories are fantastic. I just don't like playing Roman when it comes to games. Don't know why. Never have. Anyway, I'm nothing if not inconsistent. So here's some Romans I've painted. Now these are actually ones I've had for ages. I'd sort of got them primed, ready to go, as I was originally going to turn them into imitation legionaries for one of my successor forces. Never got around to painting them. They've sat on tongue depressors for years. So long they were an absolute bugger to pull off. The glue, even though it was just sort of normal Yoo-hoo glue, had set so hard it was almost impossible to get them off. Anyway, actually Martin, when he was over here, he saw them and said, "Oh, you got Romans?" And I went, "Yeah, I have." And I thought I better paint them. So this is the first 24 of them. I've got at least 24 more already primed and ready to go. Haven't done any transfers on them because I didn't have any. Simple as that. And I just wanted to get them out and done. So these are Caesarian Romans. Just did them very, very simply. Tabletop standard. Minimal washes. And I'm usually quite a heavy user of wash. But for this I used a different approach. So I'd prime them all black, which is something I'd never really do very often. I don't know why I did it, but I did. And then, so what I did was basically just dry brush them or heavy brush them with a white over the top, and then just painted a couple of layers of different colours on top. I put a wash on the faces and the shields, but apart from that, I didn't really use any washes at all, and I'm actually quite pleased with the effect. Relatively quick to do, and relatively effective, I think. So anyway, that's some Roman legionaries done. So if you saw the loot that I picked up at Warfare recently at Farnborough, I picked up another box of Wargames Atlantic Peasant figures because I can't get enough of them, frankly. Well, actually, that's not true. I can. No, it is true. I can't get enough of them. They're fantastic figures. But the reason why I did get them was because when I was putting together a force for Baron Wars, I wanted some slingers, and I realised I hadn't made a single slinger out of the boxes I had previously. So I wanted to rectify that. So here you go. I've got 2, 4, 6, 8 slingers, all made with the parts from the Peasant set, and they're just really good. I've made up the entire box now of the Peasant box, and I also thought I'd use some of the spares for spearmen. So they've got a mixture. Well, the arms are sort of in the Peasant set, but some of them are definitely more armoured. So that's probably more in keeping with sergeants. And then I put a couple of spare sergeant heads on them just to sort of give it a bit of variety. So they could be peasants, slightly wealthier peasants who managed to get a helmet from somewhere and a bit of mail, or they could be part of my sergeant force. I just sort of gave me other options. And all these Wargames Atlantic kits are so interchangeable. They are really, really cool to use. So there you go, some more peasants. So next up, a couple of little figures that I was given at Warfare by the Warbases crew, by Martin. They are part of the set that Warbases have just picked up. Well, huge number of codes that they bought from Standard Miniatures line. Now, apparently these were originally designed to go with the board game Cry Havoc. they're sort of they're put in as fantasy, but actually they are really fit in with 13th century medieval. So anyway, Martin at the show gave me and Martin, seventh son, a couple of the figures just to have a look at and to paint up. And so I did. I took these two. Obviously, one is the men at arms with some sort of pennant standard, and the other is a slinger. Now they're really nice. I mean, they're probably 25 mil. If I put let's put this. Oops. Oh, there goes one of the figures. If I put this guy beside them, you can see they're a little on the small side, but you know, nothing wrong with them at all. They're nice figures. Very animated, actually. The slinger, don't know whether you can see terribly well, but he has a very animated face. The knight or the men at arms also, nice sculpt. So I think they're a nice alternative. So there's about 200 codes, I believe, on the Warbases site. So if you're interested, check them out. Particularly, I think they've got a Black Friday sale. So there you go. Now for this one, I need to come off the tripod and go a bit freeform. So apologies if you get a little bit seasick as I'm showing this church off. So this is, well, people may have seen this at the back of my table when I've been on the PCP and what have you for some time. This is a church, 3D printed church, which has been printed by Parabellum Miniatures. It's filament printed as opposed to resin, but you really wouldn't tell the difference. Quality is extraordinary. Very, very big, as you can see. Put a figure here for scale. Yeah, it's very big indeed. It's actually supposed to be a Normandy church, but there's no obvious signs of modern on it. There's no drain pipes. There's a sort of gutter here, but it's not obviously, and I've painted it stone so that it doesn't date, if you like. It's all comes apart, so you can get inside. For a true skirmish game, this would be amazing. All this comes apart too. You can see I've painted all the different levels as well, so that you can play it if you wanted to. Now I don't know how much I'm going to use this, but I just thought it was such a fabulous model. I just had to have it. Yeah, to say, if I want to play some skirmish games, this is just perfect. Really nice indeed. From anything from Second World War up to, well, I mean, I think I can get away with using this for a medieval skirmish game. Maybe a Baron War raid on a church, or maybe the defenders are trying to stop the the attackers getting in and stealing some sort of relic or something. I don't know. Could be very good indeed. Just really liked it, so I did it. There you go. And here's some more peasants. This time I've given them bills. I wanted, so again, I did a little video on building a themed retinue, and part of that, the force I went with, the backstory was they were veterans returning from the Angevin War, and because you have to have green troops in your Baron Wars retinue, I decided that the backstory for these was that they had been in the middle of recruiting new troops to go back to France when the war came to an end, and they picked up some green billmen who they were going to take back with them and effectively learn their trade, or those that survived. That was the backstory of having these green billmen amongst their retinue. But I realised that when I went into my collection for all the Baron Wars appropriate figures I've got, all the billmen I've got look really veteran. They look really good. I mean, they're proper hard-bitten veterans, So when I was using the Wargames Atlantic Peasant set, I thought, right, I'll do a bunch of guys with two-handed weapons and bills and what have you. So that's what these are. So again, they'll go in the collection, give me other options for various retinues that I might want to do, or if I continue with the Angevins, they will see action. And then finally, for now, thought I'd better do some more bannermen and pennant men for my Baron Wars collection. So I picked up a pack of Andalusian, yeah, I can never say it, miniatures, because I think they're absolutely fantastic, and they're pretty much the right period. So that's the four with the very big banners. They are antediluvian, that's it, antediluvian. They do a really nice collection of Scottish Wars, Bruce's period figures, and they sort of work quite well for this. So I went with them, and I just think they're amazing figures. So I can use them either as knights or sergeants. Certainly the two furthest away at the moment, that one there and that one there, could probably be sergeants if I needed a banner for the sergeants. And then the two ones at the back, now at the back, are Wargames Atlantic. So again, I used the peasant bodies that I had. You get 30 in that box set. And I used some of the spare heads and arms I had from previous foot sergeant boxes, and because they're so interchangeable, and put some shields on those. So yeah, so I think gives me a few options if I want different commanders, different banners, that sort of thing, for the collection, and I'm really pleased with how they came out. Back into feeling can't get enough medieval painted. I don't know why, just really enjoy them. Yes, there's been quite a lot of painting done recently, which is kind of nice, and I've launched myself back into the medievals. I don't need any more medievals. I've got more medievals than I ever could possibly need, but I kind of like doing them. And for somebody who isn't really much of a painter, I do it, and I find it a little bit relaxing. But if I never had to paint again, I'd be quite happy. But I actually really quite enjoy doing the medievals. So if I'm going to paint anything, I enjoy it. And those Wargames Atlantic plastic sets, even though I don't like plastic sets very much, or don't like making models very much, true inconsistency from Dom, I actually quite enjoy putting them together, particularly swapping bits around, so bits from the sergeant set, from the knight set, from the peasant set, and putting them all together because they work so well together. So yeah, I really enjoyed doing those. So been good. So gaming wise, it's all been Baron's War. I must say Barons, because somebody told me off for saying Baron War. Baron's War. Pedantic fool. So we played. Just really got into it. Really enjoying it. I enjoy building the lists. I did a little video about a retinue that I put together based on an imagined retinue, and I've really enjoyed sort of the construction of the game, how it plays out. The weekend before Warfare, Ian, myself, Jonathan and Paul all had a four-way Baron's War game. It was a bit of a disaster from the rules perspective because I'm still learning them. None of them knew the rules either. So, but we had great fun. I got the snot kicked out of me, frankly. Ian went straight for the objective. The other three went for me. Well, the two went for me. So then obviously Martin came up and I showed you the game of that, which was great. And then last week we had last week at the club. It was one of the weeks where we have to go in the little room upstairs, so there's limited space. So Jonathan, myself and Paul had another Baron's War. This time it was 750 points each. It was good fun. I didn't video it because it's so noisy in this little room by the time you've got a whole lot of people playing. so I didn't film it. And in fact, I even forgot to take pictures of the game. But we had a great game. Again, I fell foul of the my inability to roll on a D10. D10s just don't do it for me. I don't know what it is. Probably that's the attitude. Positive vibes when you roll a dice and it's a D6 and you want a 6 and you think about it and it comes up 6. D10s, I just can't seem to get the right psychic link going yet. So I need to keep practicing. But yeah, we had a cracking game, really good. Still got a couple of things wrong, but really good fun. This week, this week I was hoping to have a game of a solo game here in the boot room, because I thought it was going to be quite a quiet week. It was Thanksgiving week, and it was work-wise was quite quiet. So I thought I could sort of every half an hour or so, I'll have a little half an hour break every so often and play a few turns. But unfortunately, the week seemed to go away. Particularly, it was my wife's birthday in the middle of the week, or on Thursday, and so we took the opportunity to get some lunch and have a half day and what have you. So that was nice. So yeah, I didn't get the game in. So I'm still hopeful I'll get a solo game in at some point, but it just seems to have been one of those weeks. This Friday, I'll be back up the club, and I believe Ian is going to run a World War One game in 6mm. I've never played. I don't even know what the rule system is. I don't, to my recollection, I must have played some kind of World War One game, but to my recollection, I can't remember. Certainly not 6mm. So we'll see. I'll take the camera along. We'll see how easy it is. 6mm is pretty small to film, so I don't know. We'll see. I might just take some pictures if I remember. But yeah, it's always fun to do, and it's one of the nice things about clubs. You can play different games, things you don't normally play from time to time. So, be a nice change. Also means I don't have to take anything with me other than a dice and tape measure. So, perfect. That's it for this week, I think. Purchasing wise, it's Black Friday week, so or Black Friday month as it seems to be lately. But I haven't gone crazy. I did buy a bag of the Victrix medieval foot knights, because they were doing a 10% off, I think. Excuse me. Only that I wanted a few more sergeant options from Baron's War formations. I've got masses, but I just quite fancied seeing what they were like. And you get a lot in the bag. I was going to buy another box of Wargames Atlantic, but the Victrix give you so many more, and I thought I wanted to see what they're like. So I bought a bag of that. I think it's due to arrive today. I got notification, so that's coming. I took advantage of Warbase's 10% Black Friday sale to buy a few bases, because you can never have too many bases, right? Not Black Friday, but part of his retirement sale, I bought some figures, or had some figures arrive from Ironclad Miniatures. I've got a few of his in my Boxer Rebellion collection, and the guy's about to retire later this year, I believe, and he did a quick sale. Somebody in the PCP community pointed out to me, so that was just great. So I picked up a few more Boxer figures, because I don't know when a lot of these guys. There seem to be a lot of people retiring from the hobby at the moment, manufacturer wise, and a lot of the ranges are being picked up, but I haven't seen anything about Ironclad, so I don't know what's going to happen with them. I hope they do, because they do some nice little unique figures. So I picked up, say, some Boxer Rebellion figures. Also, he does a few sort of African figures, and I picked up actually James from Midgard fame sold me his Congo rulebook that he wasn't using. So I really enjoyed Congo up at CrackCon, where I played a game there. So I wanted the rules, and they're out of print, and you can't seem to pick them even on eBay. They don't seem to come up. But James said he had a set, so he sold them to me, and I would like to have some games of that, and Ironclad do a few sort of figures that would be quite suitable for that period, so I picked up a few of those. I'm just sort of wondering about buying some of the Wargaming Foundry sets that were designed for it, but I don't know. Paul at the club says he's got a lot of figures that would do quite well for it, so maybe I'll just see what he's got, because I was going to buy some from Foundry, but they their Congo box sets are not included in their Christmas sale, and so I don't know. I'll see. I may still do that if I feel like I've got a bit of money left at the end of the month. I might buy. Otherwise, I'm trying to think. Anything else I picked up this month or this last couple of weeks? No, I think that's probably it. Been relatively restrained. Well, on the wargaming front, I seem to have bought loads of other things, like a new computer. Windows 11 dying, or Windows 11 coming in, and every other pre-supported version being killed means my my hard-earned and long-suffering computer that I only really do streaming on and a few games on and editing on is no longer much use to the world, and I can't upgrade it, unfortunately. So I picked up a new PC. I didn't spend a huge amount of money on it, but hopefully it'll be a bit more powerful and a bit more speedy than the current one, because even though they haven't withdrawn the support yet, it's already going so slowly and I can't seem to speed it up. Anyway, this isn't a tech support channel. Heaven forbid, I am rubbish at that sort of stuff anyway. So I think that's about it, really. So yeah, it's been a busy couple of weeks and been fun. Been fun. That's all you want in your hobby, isn't it? I appreciate everybody who's watched this far. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, and if you get a chance, hit the like button as well. That would be fantastic. And enjoy your games. Have really good weeks, and I'll catch up with you all soon. This is Dom, signing out.